You guys can begin. Good luck. All right, go ahead, Phil.
We got ourselves a nice little Maverick splash brew here, huh?
Yes, and I want to point out too, BMC Grail. Thanks for the subscribe. Appreciate it. Happy to support Paper Magic. Yes, yes. So back to the deck. It's Maverick with a splash, as you were saying. So
Yeah, it's got a light black splash.
yeah. So why is he doing that? I
So the light
see.
black splash is for graveyard hate cards. So he's got a Kunaros, he's got a couple of Kaya Orzhov Usurpers. Kaya Orzhov Usurper, bro, that is a card that, like, I mean, that card should probably see more play than it does. It's very good.
I agree.
We're seeing Jesse explode here after a turn one Dryad Arbor off a Green Sun for David. We see triple Petal Tomb followed by a Preordain, which I assume has to be searching for counter magic if he's going to throw out all his petals like this.
Yeah.
Is he just going to go for a turn one? It looks like it. Sweet.
I would
All
bet
right.
he
Well,
is.
I don't know what David's deck could do here from this position looking at his list.
Well, he's gonna put something in play. Emrakul versus Sylvan Library.
Okay.
Does
So Emrakul probably isn't as good as Grizzlebrand in this position. What can he do here? Probably nothing based on this list. Okay. I mean, that's not true. Like he could find a Caracas. He could find a Caracas and bounce the Emrakul, right? It's
that's
like
true. He can.
the thing is that like on a turn two, he's gonna get punched in the face, so he has to naturally have the Caracas here. He can't like Knight of the Reliquary to find it. Um,
Yeah, I'm looking at what he has here that he could possibly. It's looking bleak.
that Sylvan Library is a good look to get the Caracas. I assume if David's playing it out and takes four, that he has to have that, right?
Yeah, he just put himself at 16, paying for life. I wonder what he got.
Yeah, I mean the life at this point isn't really all that relevant. If you lose your board to an Emrakul that's in play, you're just dead regardless. So it's got to be a natural Caracas.
Caracas would be fun here.
So assuming that he has it, he's probably figuring out how to sequence otherwise to try and get the last two cards out of Jesse's hand in some reasonable way.
Right.
Because if you can just Caracas this Emrakul and he doesn't have the follow up show and tell, then you can run away with the game with this library.
Agreed. How is, in your mind, how is the, and chat, I see plenty of you are excited about Maverick. How is the Maverick Sneak and Show matchup?
I mean, it feels like a huge dog to me.
Yeah.
Just like, obviously no counter magic, that they can just go for broke and it's free. And you have to be on like multiple Crocus. If your board's not developed like David's wasn't, then it's not going to look good. Like post board, you don't really have much in the way. Like your Gatateague isn't stopping it. Your Deafening Silences aren't stopping it. I mean, there really doesn't look. It looks like he's pretty cold to this deck. He's developing a little bit more with Green Sun Zenith, so I assume he's going to have the Caracas to be able to live another day. Because otherwise he's just taking wasted game actions. But
Yeah.
I think I think this matchup is pretty much Caracas or bust. But we know that Jesse's on Borgod, so not being on Omniscience means that Caracas is going to be quite good if he has it.
This is true. Chat is not predicting this having a good outcome for David.
No, so David taking an extra card, but it not being a second land, I think we're playing it out here. But I mean, you don't just throw away a Green Sun Zenith if you know that you're going to take a hit. So I don't know what the Green Sun for Birds is really doing.
Maybe he thinned his card deck by one card. Was that going to be
I don't know, because the Green Sun Zenith goes back into the deck and replaces the bird, so it doesn't really change your deck count at all.
That's true.
It's
Yeah.
possible. It's possible that he did it anyway just because he wanted to shuffle off the library. That's possible. I could see that being a line. He's just like, all right, let's just shuffle the library, get 3 fresh looks, and if I go to 2 and then find the Caracas, then I'm still live. That's got to be the out that he's playing to. Because now his fetch lands are turned off. So it's got to be Caracas in the top three here. But Caracas in the top three is just good enough, assuming that Jesse stays on empty. So
All right. Game one goes to Sneakacho.
well, at least we talked about all of those possibilities.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
I would be surprised if he brought in the Clothis, especially since like I don't know if you're him, what are you cutting?
that's true. Yeah, I don't have much experience playing Sneak and Show, but in this matchup, what are you cutting? I mean,
I
I
think
think you're all in on your game plan.
you're all in on your game plan. I think there's maybe room where he could like cut the Ilharg, right? Because
Maybe being
source
on
the
the
plowshares,
draw.
etc.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying like source the plowshares is going to have text against Ilharg, so like that's just your worst card probably. Like that can just be either an Abrade or an Omniscience or something like that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say days on the draw. Maybe cut one or two of those.
But if Jesse didn't recognize that it was Caracas or bust and that he should bring in the Omniscience, like I assume that he's seasoned enough to know that you want to be playing Omniscience so you can just play through a Caracas without having to worry about it.
Right.
But we're off to a good start for. I mean, this is as good of a start as it's going to get for David, right? Like uh, he's got all of his colors online. He's got a dork online. If he turn two's a knight and it sticks around, then he just has access to Caracas for the rest of the game, which is going to narrow Jesse's axes that he can play on. So
Yeah. Um.
Jesse's going to kick it off with a Ponder.
I hope we get a game here. Ponder to start the game is good for David Tao.
I mean, there is room for the game to go a little bit more than a turn if he doesn't have the combo straight up. Because if David gets past turn two, then he's got a lot more play.
Yeah.
Because if he puts a knight down, then his entire deck is in his hands at that point, right?
Right.
So, oh, is this a oof? An oof would be very good. He's going to think against it. An oof cutting off pedal lines would be pretty good because that's going to slow him down, which might buy him a turn.
It would slow things down quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, so like if he has oof and it does clip a pedal that Jesse finds, like Jesse didn't play his pedal out if he has it this turn, and he doesn't necessarily need to, right? If he thinks he has Maverick and he doesn't have to worry about discard. But if he gets caught by an oof, then oof will functionally play like a Thalia, and it will just time walk the combo deck for a turn, which is what Speak of the Devil.
There she is.
So this plays through a daze. So this is actually very good positioning for David.
It looks like a good start for David. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I mean,
Force is on the stack though.
I think a force pitching tanked blue card here is good for David. Obviously, you want it to stick, but if this is what we're fighting over, that's probably fine.
I guess he's thinking about what to exile here.
Yeah.
Preordain.
Pitching preordain. So he's going to get a Dryad Arbor. So yeah, he's going to have his mana pretty much developed. So that's good for David. He's got to dodge dying this turn.
Yeah.
This could be a big ask.
Yeah.
Know,
Yeah. Go ahead.
Does the force pitching preordain signal anything about his hand to you?
I think it probably means he has the combo. He just doesn't have mana yet. Because if, like Jason points out in the chat, if he had petals, he would have played them, because you're fully expecting the possibility of Thalia dropping.
Yeah.
If he had an Ancient Tomb, he would have played it just now. I mean, we didn't know about his second land drop 30 seconds ago, but I would guess his hand is something like Sneak Attack, Gristlebrand, or Show and Tell, Emrakul, something like that.
Yeah, so him passing the turn after just playing the Volcanic, it's probably safe to assume that with no other cantrips after pitching the preordain, that his bottleneck is mana.
Yes.
And David just played a fetch and not a wasteland. But if David can deduce that the bottleneck is mana, that can influence his sequencing decisions based on what his hand is.
Yeah. Is someone asking if... Oh, so here's a question. Good question, Leon. Why doesn't Maverick want Veil of Summer?
Yeah, so David's going to get a Knight of the Reliquary here. Um, why would you want Veil against Sneaky Show?
Not just like in the deck in general, because he doesn't seem to be running it.
Oh, I think there's. I mean, I'm not a seasoned Maverick player, so anybody in the chat who has played Maverick really well, I would think that if you pick up some leverage against blue decks, right?
Yep.
I feel like if you were playing Maverick, you would want to be playing against the blue decks that currently exist because most of them are Snowco and they're not on like looking at David's list, he's playing a Kunoro, he's playing multiple Kayas. Like he seems well set up to grind and to deal with shit like Uros, right?
Yes.
So even though the deck is always going to have a weakness to Terminus, Terminus is at a very, very low percentage of control decks that are being played because everybody's on Snowco. So if I was looking at David's build, I would think that he would actively want to be playing against Snowco because that's what it seems like his deck is prepared for.
Yes, and I know we have a Maverick expert in chat. I see you.
Yeah. So I mean, if you want to take that question, is Veil's good? I mean, we're about to see a show and tell here off this trop. So Jesse plays his third land. It's a trop. Sneak comes in. Sylvan Library comes in. If Jesse is stuck on mana, then we're going to get a pass, and this leaves the door wide open for David to actually steal a game here.
Yeah, this is looking
Because
good for David.
A naked Sneak against Maverick is really not as threatening as it would seem.
Especially because Maverick can blow it up. Blow it up.
Maverick has a bunch of ways to do that, yeah.
Paying 4 life.
Yeah, so he draws 2 cards for the turn. He's got access to his whole deck pretty much with that Knight. He's got a ton of mana. This seems like it's David's game to lose here because if he can at least deal with the sneak attack, then he can start just Knight chaining Wastelands and getting rid of his mana base, which is clearly his bottleneck.
So our Maverick expert in chat is pointing out Scrib Ranger would be great here for a double activation, I guess, on the Knight. Is that what he's pointing out?
Well,
and
like
a Wasteland on the red source could be a line.
Yeah, I think that we would probably if David doesn't have a way to blow up the sneak right now, that he has to go for a Knight waste on the red source, right? That's just got to be the line.
Yeah.
Starting with a second Thalia is very good for him, though. Like this game is starting to snowball for David.
Yeah, it's looking good. For all the non-believers in chat, it's looking good. Okay, swinging for 1.
So he can't let him untap, right? Oh wow, he's gonna let him untap.
Okay.
Well, I guess if he thinks he's gonna sneak attack in a Legend, then he can Caracas bounce it, but that means that he would get to refill on 7 cards. I guess taking 7 life isn't the worst if you can. That was a scary turn. I would have been scared of dying right there to a fatty, but
yeah. So Wasteland has been fetched. Oh, I'm not sure if we're on upkeep here. Are we?
Yeah, no, this game is just done. Jesse sees that he's gonna get waste chained off the Knight. I'm surprised that David didn't proactively go for that Wasteland to just hit the red source, because he gave a window where he can put a Grizzlebrand into play and draw 7. I guess that in response you can just get a Caracas and bounce, but that's dangerous because if a Sneak is on the table and he draws multiple petals, I mean, I get that there's a Thalia on the table, but if you're essentially turning your petals into just mana fixing to get your red mana so you can end the game, it's still pretty good. So I think David's decision to cut red for black is an explicit concession to expecting to play against Astrolabe.
Maybe. Yep.
Because P-Fire is bad against those matchups, but all of the cards that he put in their stead are excellent against that matchup. So.
Yep.
So
well, Ponder Pass. So.
Yep. Ponder Pass, and it looks like we got a dork here, so that's good.
Decent.
That's a start you want from David. You're still playing the game, and you have a accelerant.
He's still alive.
All right, no tomb. That's good news.
Spyglass
Ooh.
on the bingo card.
Okay, so this is a pretty easy call on Wasteland here for sure.
Does he have
Like,
Wasteland?
he's got a Wasteland in his hand. Yeah, you cut mana, you protect your red source.
Oh, he does have Wasteland. Yeah, I couldn't see it for some reason. It just kind
Yeah,
of
I
blended
mean,
in with the
okay,
background.
it's an easy Wasteland name here. It's interesting to me that he brought Spyglass in. I mean, it's also another answer to Caracas, so you know,
It
it's
is, yeah.
he does have that access. I mean, we're definitely here on we're on the sneak attack plan still by bringing in Spyglass.
Let's find out what was named there.
It's got to be Wasteland.
Just check to be sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, what'd you name on the Spyglass?
Wasteland.
Wasteland?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. All right, Wasteland it was. Just wanted to
I
be
mean,
sure.
David's Wasteland essentially getting preemptively Wastelanded is bad for him because that was his only other mana source in his hand. But he could play, like, he could just jam the Teague right now, and that would cut the sneak attack line at least. So I think that's got to be the play unless he just drew a Thalia. Yeah.
Teague, pretty good here.
Yeah, so Teague will stop, or at least it'll slow down our sneak plans. But we got a fetch on Jesse's sides. Calling turn goes to the yard.
Yeah, Force of Will is shut off at the moment. That's true.
I mean, if he's fetching, I assume he's just slamming a 3-drop. Yeah, there's show and tell. Show and tell getting tapped as well.
Show and tell, and a card is being put in play.
All right, so we got Grizzly Dizzy, and we're going to blow up Spyglass. So it's going to open up Wasteland. It doesn't really do much in the face of a Grizzlebrand. But we're not totally out of the woods yet.
All right, passes the turn.
Jesse's got 3 cards in hand. We're back over to David. All right, so if you're David, what's got to be the plan here? Just got to be correct. I mean, he's got Path.
Yeah, he has Path, and he's going to cast it right away.
So you're Jesse. You draw 7.
Yeah, do you draw more than 7? Probably not.
I don't think so because you're taking 4 to the face.
Yep.
So you can't afford to pay 14. You just got to pay 7 here. And Force of Will is actually cut by the Teague, so that's good. That means that this Path is going to get through because he has plenty of resources to pay for multiple dazes. So it looks as though not only did that Path to is this Path to Exile going to take care of this Grizzlebrand, but also we got a bingo, boys. We got a bingo.
The bingo card is going crazy. Path to Exile hit. Wow.
So Jesse's got to search a basic here, so that's not nothing.
Yep.
But this game continues.
All right. Everybody's hoping for a soldier attacking here for the bingo card. The bingo card is available on Twitter.
Put him to 7.
All right, he's at 7.
So Jesse's going to untap with 8 cards in hand. No, more than that. He had 3 cards to begin with, so he's going to have.
He has like 10 cards in hand.
Yeah, that Wasteland is a little awkward with that Path to Exile, but life total still being at 7 is way better than if it was at 14.
Agreed.
And it also meant that he didn't get to draw 14. He just got to draw 7 because he wasn't going to get the life back if that was the swords. So a lot of applications for Path to Exile looking better than Swords to Plowshares here.
All right. Jesse is gonna cantrip. That's good news for David.
Yeah, Leon, I have to say that it does look good for David right now, but Jesse also has double-digit cards in his hand.
Yeah.
So,
And just
um,
brainstormed.
and just brainstormed. He still has a land drop. Gaddock Teague is cutting off sneak attack lines, so it's got to be another show and tell.
So
But he
if
may
yeah, go
he
ahead.
may have boarded in something like a braids, that is an out for him.
If David gets another turn, is he winning this game?
If David gets another turn, I imagine that means that his attacks are just going to be good enough, right?
Yeah.
Like he's got almost lethal on board.
Yep. Jesse at 6, by the way, for that fetch.
So if he like his sneak attack lines are cut, David is kind of going to have free will on his turn because Teague is cutting off force of will.
Brainstorm again. All right, looking really good for David here. That
It's
must have been a crap 7 cards he drew.
I think this game, if David takes this game, it is probably on the back of that Gaddock Teague, because
Yes.
that Gaddock Teague was probably the reason that path was protected, and it might be blanking a good chunk of Jesse's hand if he's just sitting on forces and sneak attacks, right?
Yes. Wait, Gaddock Teague is wait a minute. What does it do again?
It stops players from casting non-creature spells CMC 4 or greater or spells
X
with X in
spells.
it.
Okay,
So,
okay.
so for
So
David, it cuts off his Green Sun Zeniths,
I wasn't
but
sure. Yeah, yeah, okay.
that's obviously a reasonable price when you can cut off half of your opponent's lines to win.
Wow, yeah, Leon pointing out in before Pyroclasm. Yeah, if he Pyroclasms here, that's pretty good.
But like a Pyroclasm here is
Shuffling from
like
Ponder.
like if your opponent is on Sneak and Show and they Pyroclasm instead of killing you, that's not the worst. In this particular position, because David's mana is tied up into his creatures as well, it would probably be game ending.
Yeah.
Teague confirmed busted. Get your Teagues today.
I think Gaddock Teague just got reprinted in some set. I don't know what set.
Dude,
But
you could probably do a mean Teague cosplay.
me?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You might be right.
Oof, another Ponder.
Another
I mean,
Ponder.
he's on Storm 4 here.
Ultimate Masters. That's right. Thanks, chat.
We got Brainstorm, Brainstorm, Ponder, Ponder this turn.
Chat is on point tonight, making this job easy. Another shuffle from Ponder. Ouch.
No,
Jesse
dude, that's the
probably
best.
has.
Those are the best kinds of Ponders. I don't know
Yeah,
what you're talking about.
Jesse. Jesse after this turn probably has steam coming out of his ears.
No, he's going to cast Tendrils. Chat, help us with this debate. If they printed 1 mana, so a sorcery for blue, and all it said was shuffle your deck, draw a card, does that see play?
What about the 0 casting cost sorcery that just says shuffle your library? That's it.
Shuffle your library, dude. A free spell that says shuffle your library. Oh my god. I think we underestimate the implications that could have.
Oh man, don't put us as designers for games. Put it that way. All right, it's David's turn. Is this
Okay,
David's
so
game?
is there a way that David can put 2 more power into the red zone this turn?
Let's see. He has Knight's not a 4. I keep thinking it's a 4. I forgot he destroyed an artifact. 2, 4. Yeah, I don't know. He can't kill him this
Caracas
turn.
is a good pickup. Caracas is a good pickup. There's no way the Questing Beast is still in the deck. Come on now.
Yeah, Caracas. I mean, Questing Beast definitely got sided out. Oof is a little overkill at this point, but it's a
Oof,
creature.
yeah, Oof is not as effective as it otherwise would be, but the Caracas plus the Beast, like Teague plus Caracas right now is very good. And it seems like it's like this is now the pivotal turn. It's either Pyroclasm or kill you, or you're dead.
Yeah. Worth pointing out too that if there were open deck lists, which there are not, Maybe he wouldn't drop that oof just so he has a creature in case Pyroclasm hits. Maybe it's not even worth dropping here. But he doesn't know Jesse's list. He can survive
Yeah,
an Emrakul swing, that's true. So maybe it was smart to play a creature. I don't know.
I mean, like the thing is that there isn't a sneak attack line because Teague cuts it, so it's not like he's gonna have a removal spell plus the mana to play and activate sneak unless he has would even triple pedal do it. Yeah, if he had his last three pedals, he could do that line, but that's asking a lot.
Preordain. I think Jesse's never going to play a blue deck again after this one.
I think it's just got to be Pyroclasm or bust, and I don't know, man. He's putting this. He's drawn a card with this preordain. I think the reason that he's him playing a blue deck might be the reason that he still has an out this game if he finds an answer here.
Yeah. The
Okay,
frustration
so
of like 5 cantrips and no action, though.
he must have kept a brainstorm with that preordain.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that like he's drawing all of his cantrips, right? So like that's good in the face of a Teague. That's what you want to be doing. But it turns out that Teague is going to be enough for this one because Jesse picks him up.
Wow. To all the non believers. All right, let's check in with the players.